Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here, and in today's video, I want to share a little insight and story about an experience I had the last couple weeks. Okay, so if you guys haven't noticed, the upload schedule on this channel has severely decreased, right? We were at one point late last year, we were posting like almost every day in December, and then it was kind of like 3 4 times a week, and now in the last couple weeks it's been like once a week, once every 2 weeks, right? And some context is that I've been feeling a little off, like, the same type of inspiration and motivation that fuels this channel and fuels my career, it was missing. And I kind of fell into this almost like 9 to 5 mindless routine, right? Where I was going through the motions, and it was just like this thing I do for money, and it wasn't really something that fulfilled me. And my whole point with that is I fell into like a monotonous routine that lacked purpose, right? And I stopped being present to my purpose and my mission. And so I just kind of fell into this. Um, and then in general, I just kind of felt lost and stuck and not knowing what to do. Um, and so, long story short, I didn't know it, but I stopped showing up powerfully in my life. And I fell into this routine of, comfort and ease and just having no real sense of purpose, just trying to get through the day. And right there, I want to highlight, right? That's called being in survival mode. That's called being in reaction mode, right? And when I say survival mode, I literally mean you're just trying to get through the day, right? Very basic functions like, um, and when we go through our survival mechanisms, that's when you find your avoidance. That's when you're no longer operating as like a high functioning human being. You're literally just trying to get through shit. You know what I mean? And you're literally just trying to not feel stressed about life. And what's interesting about the survival mechanisms is that they can really turn up, like the stress reactions and the survival and the coping. It can really go up to a high level, even if there's nothing really that stressful, but we perceive it as very stressful, right? Like, oh my god, I don't know what to make for my videos, a lot of self-criticism, a lot of self-judgment, blah 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 blah. And I just found myself in this habit of just preferring comfort and ease over challenge and productivity, if you will. And before you know it, I was no longer balanced out, right? There was more pleasure, ease, and comfort and reward than there was challenge, than there was overcoming, than there was pursuing something of meaning. And so, without even realizing it, I just slipped into this hole of binging and consuming things to feel good, whether that was food, whether that was, porn. And I even binged marijuana a little bit. I got some edibles. I haven't done marijuana in like several months. It's not really something I do often anymore. And the reason is because it's just not something that really jives with me on a regular basis. Um, I find that I do much better overall mental health, productivity, general happiness, general sense of self-esteem when I center my life around doing something that matters to me and getting my kicks and getting my highs off of a number of things, right? And when I did binge on marijuana these last, I think it was 4 days, not including yesterday, um, I remembered what it was like to be in that place, right? Where you're not using marijuana in a helpful way, right? I was using it to just get through my day, right? And I think the message I really want to give out today is, first of all, if you find yourself in that place, maybe one of the best things you can do is just acknowledge, like, whoa, I'm totally just like in survival mode. I'm totally just like trying to get through my day. No judgment, just like acknowledging, like, whoa, I'm just trying to like get through some stuff. Not freak out so much, right? And then maybe acknowledge that you're only going to get so far with just pleasure binging. Like that really can only get you so far. And that the real antidote to our suffering when you're in this place is to acknowledge that there are things in our lives that we need to deal with. Whether it's an emotion or whether it's a circumstance, whether it's a test, whether it's something you need to communicate with a friend or a partner or a family member. That there's something in our lives that needs addressing, and the antidote is to go address it. The false antidote, the illusion, is that more and more fast food or more porn or marijuana will cure this feeling. It will not cure that feeling. That feeling can only be dealt with by facing that and being willing to do something about that and to adjust yourself accordingly. And the vicious cycle is that instead of confronting what's bothering us in our lives, we ignore it by using false pleasures like fast food, porn, marijuana, video games to ignore it. But then as we use those things to temporarily feel good, that kind of buries us deeper into the darkness called ignoring our lives. And so then the more and more we ignore, the worse and worse it feels. And the ironic part is we use temporary pleasures to fuel this darkness that we're stepping into more and more. And so it's like this, it's on the one hand, you're trying to use substances or food or Netflix to just kind of cope with the feeling, when in reality, what needs to be done is to gather yourself together in whatever way you can, and then be willing to actually address your life. Like actually like be like, okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm actually gonna do something to fix my life, right? Or fix the situations of my life. And so consider that, only consider that deep down you know what you need to do, whatever you're going through, you know what you need to do. And consider that it's not you versus marijuana or you versus fast food. It's you versus, like, that's just your outlet to avoid or distract or cope. And the real thing you need to address is, what is it in your life that you need to address? And shoot, maybe one of the things in your life you need to address is the fact that, damn, I have been leaning heavily on marijuana or video games or fast food or porn as a way to just like get by, you know? And so for some of us, that is the big first step to address, like, yo, like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. I just get stoned. And so just kind of like, and I get it. That is kind of a scary first step for some people. I understand. Right? But that's like the beginning of building your life back up again, you know? Um, and so yeah, like it's I think what most of us are looking for, if I may, is like a solid sense of mental health, a solid sense of self-esteem and self-worth, and like a solid sense that our lives are like decently put together and going well. And then maybe at the bottom of it all is this feeling of happiness and empowerment, right? Like I have control of myself and my life to a decent degree, such that it's generally going straight. And if I veer left or veer right, I have the skills and the experience to course correct, right? Or at least find my way somehow. And just as a final message, I can recall so sympathetically and with empathy what it's like to have, and specifically with marijuana, to have gotten lost in my path, took a hard left, and found myself just surviving through the day, and marijuana being my right hand man, really my right hand partner. Like that's what got me through my days, and that's what independence is all about, right? No longer leaning on a dependent relationship, no longer leaning on a dependent relationship, right? Like learning how to stand on your own 2 feet emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And there's really no way for you to become independent from marijuana specifically if you keep depending on it. And that's why I think taking time away from it is extremely important for the main purpose of you developing independence, the skills, the rituals, the experience to be independent, and to know yourself as someone who can have a good day and a good time and a good week and a good month, whether or not weed was on the table. And consider that most people are trying to figure this out, because whether you are dependent on marijuana or not, let's say you never did marijuana at all, people are just trying to figure out on how to have a good day, how to have a good life. So consider that this whole thing is about trying how to figure out how to have a good day, how to have a good life, and the many aspects that come with that. And depending on how you look at it, if you're someone who is dependent on marijuana, deeply dependent, maybe even addicted, the first step to having a good day and having a good life is to be able to put that substance down and then figure it out, right? Hopefully that made sense. Kind of rambled on a little bit today. Just had to get a number of things on my chest, but off my chest rather. But yeah, you know, um, yeah. So that's it. Um, only you know what's best for you, and I have full, man, dude. I just want to acknowledge how challenging it can be to figure things out in general. And I also want to acknowledge that if I could figure it out, you could certainly figure it out. And I hope to be a valuable piece, a valuable resource for you in that journey. But I'm not the authority on you and your life. And so always take from these videos what resonates and discard whatever else. And yeah, that's always the case. But just had to remind all of us of that, if anything. So that's it. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Shouts out to my tripod. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness. I have it on an actual tripod, but that chessboard is there to keep things stable. But anyways, appreciate you all. Leave a comment down below, anything you want to share, something you learned, a question you have, anything like that. But yeah, appreciate you all. Love you all. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.